Okay, guys. We're gonna have everyone sit down.
For 2 years.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and start. We're a little over time. No one's having lunch or whatever, so feel free to eat if you want during my presentation. I don't take any offense. So with that being said, let's begin. All right. Sorry, just some traditionals. That's okay with that. My name is Kepner, today class, and the global social media. It's listed right next to the. I would just right now we'll see the presentation here. As part of my company, a Google trainer. These are, and you guys have come and tried to grant them on the recard. Thing I want to click on the YouTube channel, but I can't greatly appreciate if you go to YouTube. And then once you get to you, go ahead and type in Ben. So it's just, and I'll zoom in, search, and then I'm this guy. You might see the magic fountain, and I would love if you guys can subscribe to that. When you go to my channel, there should be a subscribe, and the top right is me right now. And then another note, YouTube right now. So the presentation, I want to have all of my presentations collaborate with other educators. A lot of people are doing, but I think that's the funny presentation. And so that will create action. So we're a technology conference of learning, this cathedral of YouTube videoing and ed tech technology. And we are reminded, remember, okay, we are reminded to remember to always remember. We need to remember the things that we present or we teach to our fellow students. So with that being said, I'm going to transition into the beginning of my presentation here. Not with the typical kind of let's teach everything and keep it dry. I have an agenda here. I'm not going to read over this. You can kind of see what it is, but I'm going to introduce to you something that I created at just last week in Maine. I was in Saco, Maine. I was presenting there for the Apps Event Summit. And what I did for that presentation is I actually created a new dance. And there are many reasons for that. I just wanted to give an application of here's how to make a video, here's something fun, and this is the reason why you're learning it. You can take these and apply these to any of your topics or units, right? So if you're a science teacher, maybe there's a unit on chemistry. If you're in math, maybe there's a unit on basic algebra, those type of things. But for today's presentation, I've created a dance. And YouTube actually has said they would love to see creators, such as myself or such as anyone in this classroom, to create things that they're passionate about. I mean, there are almost 5 billion videos that are being watched on YouTube every single day. And that's coming from YouTube Press. So we know that's accurate. That's coming from YouTube saying, that is how many videos are being watched every day. So if we're not using YouTube in the classroom, or if you have a restriction at your school, your district, I would immediately reach out to your administrator and show them this. They are gonna remember that there's 5 billion videos being watched every day, and some of those videos may not be entertaining, or they might not be relevant for what you're teaching. But the other thing that I'm gonna get into later today is actually this category on YouTube is education. And there are over 10 million subscribers today to the YouTube education category. So with that being said, what is Benjamin Kepner passionate about? Well, I'm a big fan of live music, as I kind of alluded to, and I created this dance just last week. One of my favorite bands is called STS9, or Sound Tribe Sector 9. They are an instrumental band. They're very space-oriented, kind of out there. And they released a new album this year called Wave Spell. So I was going to just quickly play this music for you. That's the word. Just to give you a listen of what this song's about. So you kind of see this guy right here on the right in the album cover of that album that they released this year. You don't really know who he is or what he's doing in that picture. It kind of looks like the waves are going through him. So I'm not going to get too much into this right now because I have a video that I created and I presented in Maine just last week. But I wanted to give you a sound snippet of the song. Now we're going to go to the video that I created. First, they are an oriented band. The pretty genre that they go for is space funk. One day, they locked themselves into a studio and they improvised everything that they did, and they created what they call Wave Spell, a challenge for the class today. The challenge is I want to show you a funny video that I created just 24 hours ago. Created this dance, and the dance that's the dance move. That's my Wave Spell dance move. Album artwork as the waves are running through the body. Wave Spell is the band in the rawest form, and it's all done improvisationally, and it's dedicated to the belief that music is the most powerful force in nature. So that's what I did. I took this person right here, who we don't really know who he is, but if you look at it, it seems like he's kind of, waves are coming at him, right? This is just last week at a middle school in Maine. So today, I have created an original piece of content in today's presentation. It's called the Wave Spell Dance. It casts a spell from wave form, carrying sound and light, moving energy and frequencies through our mind, body, and soul. What's your wave spell? Maybe it's flowing, maybe it's the body is moving, maybe the hands are letting go. This is great. This is great. This is the best wave spell dance I've ever seen. Look at all this. This is beautiful. Sako making summits. And I want to teach my teachers, fellow teachers in this room, a new dance I created for this presentation. The challenge is your wave spell. Go. Someone's dancing and they see this. So it got me thinking, wait a second, what this symbolizes is it was something for them to be able to explore. Something that they weren't told, we're going to play this song, we're going to play this type of music. They just went into a room, they spoke to their instruments, and they improvised and they created what they released earlier this year. So it got me thinking, how did humans or people like us learn the ability to dance? How did we learn how to dance? And after I started researching for the presentation today, one of the main deciding dance imitation is someone and they try to emulate it. You know, regardless of what you guys have learned today, you are going to remember that. Why are you going to remember it? Anyone in the audience? Why are you going to remember that today? Why watch this with an open mind, and then I'm gonna challenge you guys to stand up in class with me, watch this video, and then show me what your way to spell dance would look like. You know, I didn't give you any guidelines. I showed you my way to spell, and then you guys kind of imitated, or you did your own version of it, or whatever. Saying, wow, I really like doing this. This way spell, but I don't remember this is that fun. Guys, great. Thank you so much. That was awesome. That was awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. So as you can tell, the people in Maine were pretty shocked by my presentation, but they were also very willing as part of my challenge. So today, I have taught you guys a new dance through a YouTube video that I created last week, and I'm doing this for all my presentations this summer, and I want to see your wave spell dance. So if I can have the class stand up for me, and I'm going to play that song, and you saw the different versions of whatever you feel like a wave is coming through your body. I want to get the blood flowing for you guys. I want to get you active, and I want you to... That's Upstate Technology Conference in South Carolina. Show me your waves. That's it. Maybe the waves are running through the body. Maybe there's an Egyptian going on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Everyone has their own wave spell dance. This is excellent. Great. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's awesome. All right, so I hope that was fun. All the foolishness aside, you know, it's something you probably use in your classroom, right? A hook. You bring a video in, you show it, and you ask some questions. I wanted to encourage you guys that you just learned a new, potentially viral dance video. You guys don't even know. Maybe you're setting the next viral sensation, but you just learned how to do a dance through YouTube video. You know, that is a powerful teaching tool in today's world. And you're going to remember that dance today. You're going to laugh about it. And if you see that video, man, I don't really know if I got what I wanted out of that presentation, but I want to remember that. And so, you know, my point with that is not to create videos that are not for educational purposes. With all of my reasons, sometimes a video is a better methodology of teaching something than a traditional classroom, a worksheet, you know, these are all things that have been, you know, we grew up with, and sometimes the students dread doing these things. They're not interested, they're disengaged. If YouTube videos are used correctly, they can be very entertaining. It allows people to play, it allows people to discover. They can apply the flipped learning methodology. You know, they can watch it later, they can go back. There's a lot of powerful reasons as to why YouTube is a great teaching mechanism, and some of these are here. So I was going to just show you another video that I made, and this is a video I made for the Google for Education program. So I'll have to stop that guy. And my application
drive to use technology to make the world a better
to
place.
show Google, hey,
Googliness is defined by Google
I can
as a
teach
passion
people how to do things on with YouTube.
But easy to spot. 26,000 Googlers worldwide use computer science as a tool to do things. Hey, I want to connect more learners to the world with Google products. The opportunity Google group of 2,000 certified trainers ask questions versus powerful professional growth opportunities. So what good time to learn, pass Google certification exams, and improve my training skills in order to grow. I'm a networker with 14,000 online connections who wants the ability as a Google trainer to work in a variety of environments. Finally, I possess real-world training experience during my time as an English educator and private English tutor in Spain, author for social media onlineclasses.com, a Chirico Holidays Travel Academy instructor, and digital marketing blogger of global social media marketing. Today I'm going to show you how to use Google Photos to share on your Google Plus profile. Google Plus allowed my students in Spain to discover the beat together on field. The following is an example of our trip to yeah. Using Google Podcast and a DSLR camera, I captured memories of my students could explore their interests, join communities, people around topics related to our field trip, and view my Google Plus profile publicly with the photo album to comment on or share the locations of the places we visited. Google's auto-awesome personal storytelling feature, also inside Google Plus, allowed me to create Google stories that weave together photos, videos, and timestamps into a rock. If you want to share your photos on Google Plus, you can open Google Chrome and type in photos. Log into your Gmail. Next, begin by clicking on albums. Click on New Album. You'd like to upload your album or title. From there, to add another photo. Once you're done, check mark the upload to share and click on Continue, and then give us posts with your album using find your posts and search with relevant keywords. Post. Now type in plus.google.com in your address bar. Go to your beautiful album that will.
So Google your teachers on how you can teach your students to do things on YouTube. As I mentioned, the main reason 18% of why people go onto YouTube to begin with is to learn something. How-to video, if you type in how-to in front of everything, it's probably going to be 7 out of 10 times, it's going to be the #1 search, it's going to be how to do something. And as I kind of explained to you earlier, there is a category of education that's called YouTube education as a channel. And what YouTube does from their education vertical is that they automatically take the most watched videos in education and then automatically put those videos at the top of the YouTube education channel. So you don't even have to go out and do the work of finding out, what are the best videos or, what's the best science video for my upcoming test. That is readily available for you, and it's a great resource. So, one thing I think too that I've seen with a lot of the presentations today, I actually had a presentation right before this because I was just curious to see what he presented. And, I think all of us realize that most of the kids, majority of them today, they have smartphones and they are on social media or Google or YouTube almost every day at this point now, if not every week. And so because of that, we're really appealing to their lifestyle, right? I mean, if a kid is watching YouTube videos all the time and we're not using them in the classroom, that's a lost opportunity for us. And the other thing is that they're probably very quick and adaptable to learn that way. I mean, they're already consuming media that way. So why would we want to appeal to that learning type of style if they're used to watching videos every day? Again, I think the main point I want to get across too is we're not just making videos to be entertaining or have someone watch a video for a few minutes. Like, the intent is to teach them something. And you can do that in a variety of ways, as I just showed you with the field trip example, right? You could take pictures, put it into a slideshow, and then put videos in it too. And it just makes it a more interactive way of learning about some of the historical things. For example, when I was in Galicia, Spain, to learn about those famous people that came over and conquered, or to learn about their food and culture like that. Those were things that I could not express through a worksheet or a test. Those were emotional, psychologically, the kid is thinking, hey, this is fun, this is making me happier, I'm interested, I can discover, I can watch this video and then maybe there will be another video after it. It really allows for that kind of freedom to learn. So, what videos does YouTube encompass? I touched on the YouTube education category. I'm not going to go through all these either because I want to spend some time with you guys actually making videos today. But TED-Ed is a great platform. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that. I also put the other best edutainment channels on the right there. Some really good science ones, history ones out there. And then I wanted to show you guys a study done in which they tested students in a classroom of what their learning was versus no videos versus the students that had videos and podcasts. And the result of that study was actually that the people that were learning content through videos actually performed better than the students that were not watching videos. So I thought that was a very interesting kind of study. I put the name of the people that did the research on that if you want to kind of dive more into that. One thing that I know that I grew up as a kid, and I'm sure most of you that are involved with mathematics or engineering or science, was Legos. And the funny thing about Legos is right, they're really good for engineering, problem solving, spatial recognition, all of these types of skills that would be very crucial as we look at the future of technology for our students. And what's happened with Legos specifically now is that they're building robots with Legos, and they're building adult art sculptures out of Legos, and there are actually even some architectures out there that are now building their buildings in a Lego form and then reconstructing that building in real life. And so Legos have really served as a great way for students to learn through that type of interest, allowing them to discover and gamify. So this is a great example of just a cool video I found. The name of the YouTube channel is called JK Brickworks. So if any of you are
There is a
using
split down the middle.
Legos in the classroom, I would definitely recommend this. And what this guy's YouTube channel is literally, he just shows Lego creations that he's made and how to make them. I mean, that is super awesome for a kid to like come into class one day and be like, hey, we're talking about Galicia, Spain, like make me a beach with waves, doing the wave spell dance to STS9 or something like that. It's just, it allows that creativity and imagination in another way. And you wouldn't know how to build something crazy like this if you hadn't seen a video version of it. Or they'd have to read through it, and it'd be a really extensive process, where this they can watch over and over and over again, and really empower them to have that flipped learning.
We come across a bunny rabbit and a dinosaur eating lunch together in a cat.
So I wanted to kind of, that was my, my introduction for, why we use YouTube. I showed you an example of a video that I just created last week with teachers so they would learn to dance. I've shown you the Legos, but, I wanted to spend some time today on you guys, being interactive. So, with that being said, what are the steps to building your YouTube channel? And so I want to show you my YouTube channel right now. Only thing I would like to note is that, unfortunately, because we're in Greenville, they've blocked a lot of the YouTube restrictions. So my YouTube channel is obviously a little bit more full than just 2 videos. So just kind of bear with me on that for today, but I do have some videos for us to at least work with. And so the one thing that I want to point out is you set up your channel for your class or for your school. You want to start with the channel banner, right? So I put my banner as my presentation last week to show people, hey, I'm going to be in Maine next week. I'm going to be presenting this presentation. Having a consistent upload schedule on this banner is a great way to tell your teachers, students, whoever you're using YouTube videos for in your class or school, to say, hey, you can expect every Monday, like Monday motivation, and Tuesday's trivia day, and Wednesday is, news day, whatever it has to be. And then that way your students kind of have a plan of what they know. And then you can also draw in other audiences, right? I mean, having that banner is something that should kind of help describe what type of content that you're going to upload, is also, what type of content you're going to be uploading. You'd like to have a picture, so obviously a profile picture if it's you or your school. The other thing that you want to take into consideration is you'll see in the right-hand corner here, I've got my website and my Google Plus linked. So on your channel banner, you can also add any type of URL link to any other, sites or social media channel, or if you had another YouTube channel, you could just put any type of URL link there. The next thing I would say is you definitely want, oh, was there a question? No? The next thing I was going to say that you definitely want to look in when you are customizing your channel is you will have a section that says view as yourself as a new visitor, and you will see kind of what they call a, you go in here when I get it right, visitor. You'll have like a featured video. So right now, because we're live, you're seeing that video. But normally what would happen when you had this open is you'd have a channel be your creed. What's your channel about? What can people expect? What type of information is going to be on there? And it could be a short video. I saw the guy earlier today, it was literally just him in his classroom. And I think he was a instructional technologies coordinator, where he just had a 1-minute video, he shot it on his phone, he uploaded it to YouTube, and he just said, hey, my YouTube channel is about teaching YouTube. It's about teaching all of these schools in Greenville how to use technology in the classroom. And it just gives your viewers, those new people that come to your channel, to have a better awareness of what you're doing. So you can see the subscribe now that we were talking about. So thanks, class, for that. You gave me 7 new subscribers today. Appreciate that. And then, the next thing that you definitely want to do as you make these videos, you'll see you can have these titles here. You can then organize them into sections of your playlist. So I wanted to go back. And you want to organize things. You want to interact with your audience. So like the benefit of having a playlist, right, is, I show you a video and then the lesson ends. Obviously, everyone in here is developing, yearly curriculums or lesson plans depending upon where they are in the school year. And so a great way to kind of think about it, if I'm going to start with we'll just go back to science, because I have a science teacher as a roommate. He teaches a lot about biology and evolution. So maybe at the beginning of the semester, and then he puts in the next step of, Homo sapiens and Neanderthals as that kind of goes around, and he has different videos. But what happens is he organizes all of those videos into a certain period of time and a certain topic. So again, if it's arts, maybe it's attention, the ability to write in cursive, how to listen or linguistically say things. There's a lot of things that you can do, but it just organizes for people to follow that. So an example of a playlist that I'll show you, if I could show you mine, I would, but let's go into EdTech Team. They're a really good education technology company, so you can see the way that they've done it. They've done some of their boot camps. They've done the compressed in the media. If you go to TED Ed, as I mentioned, that's a great resource. They've got their originals, playing with language, awesome nature. So it's just really kind of categorizing your channel in a better way. And then also what happens when you play a playlist, it will continue to play those videos in that playlist until you stop it. So it's kind of like you can go at your own pace, or you could watch an entire playlist of 10 videos if it was like an hour homework assignment or something like that. So you definitely want to organize things. You want to make sure that you have a title. And then, the other thing that I would say is you look at these different YouTube videos, these have thumbnails. A thumbnail is just essentially like an original image of the YouTube video. So the way that YouTube kind of does it on their own, and I can show you an example, is that they'll normally, their algorithm, their technology will take different shots from the video, and they'll generate a thumbnail for you. It's much better approach if you have something like this. Like you can look at this video right now and know what that's about, because you see the text and you see the fish, and that's what you need to go for with a thumbnail. Is you need to think of your thumbnail in a way is really just another form of your title or description, where if someone saw that, like if you saw that little doggy in the window and you wanted to buy Pepe Le Pew or whoever the name of the dog was, you'd look in that window and you'd see that dog before you went and bought it. Same thing with YouTube. You want to have that thumbnail, you want to see it, and you can create your own. Another really easy way to create original thumbnails is just to literally go into your video, watch it, pause it, take a screenshot of it, and upload it. One other thing I want to say, I kind of touched on this briefly, just, define your audience. So one thing that I've seen, I was talking to another teacher this morning, and she started using YouTube classes for her chemistry unit. She's a science and math teacher. And she said, I was making all these videos and it was taking all this time, and then the kids didn't really watch it again, or the better learners in the classroom, they went with it and they took off, but then the other learners, they didn't want to watch it. So my advice, specifically too, with just talking to that woman this morning was, know your audience. What level are they? Are they at a reading level of 1, or are they reading a level of 5? Are they an honor student, or are they not an honor student? Like, think about that and sculpt your videos for those different types. Then you need to obviously think about your age and demographics. So is it a K-12? is it middle school, high school, elementary school. Another great thing that you can kind of test with your video is you can go into what they call the audience retention report. And I could show you guys an example of that just so you can kind of, I'm going back and forth between my, my channel. But if you come and you click on the top right-hand corner, this is essentially like your home, your hub, right? So you can see the Creator Studio, which is really where you go to make and edit things. And then my channel is just kind of what you're already seeing right here on screen, but that's the TED Ed version. So if you wanted to see if people were watching your videos or, are your students losing interest, what you can do is you can go into Creator Studio. And then you can go down to Analytics. And so you can see all of the analytics. You can see the average view duration. You can see how many times watched, how many views, did they like it. You can see, the watch time of minutes. So that right there is saying, 45% of my entire YouTube channel is coming from that video. And then the wave spell dance that we just. So it's one of those things where, like, I think in education, we're all kind of looking to show our principals or superintendents, this video stuff is not just a waste of time anymore now. It is, we can see everything that is happening on our YouTube videos at this point. So why would we not go and show our superior or our, head and say, hey, look, I created some of these videos. These are really performing well. Their test scores were better. And I know exactly when they fell off. You can go more granular into this and see, at what point do they kind of tail off and see, are my videos even being watched in the US? And one thing I wanted to kind of point out about that, as I kind of mentioned that, is just that, so shockingly enough, 80% of all those are watched outside of the United States. So 20% of YouTube is the United States, and then the rest of the world is 80%. So I think that's just good for you guys to know and realize that, the power of YouTube for you is definitely within the classroom first, but the secondary power of it is that it can reach new audiences around the world and allow you to get different collaborative opportunities. Maybe you teach them about different projects. I know I've seen some donation, non-profitable causes being presented today. YouTube is a great platform that, and the other great thing as I go into it is that they will actually allow you to have community contributors to help you translate those videos for free in other languages. So I don't know if any of you, if your students may struggle with English, or maybe they've just moved here, they're learning English. That's a great feature of YouTube, is that you guys don't have to know another language. You don't have to go pay expensive amount of money to translate. You just have to go to your settings, enable community contributors, and you can start to translate all of your videos. So in general, I would just say, as you kind of saw in my video, combine what your audience expects. So if your kids are expecting to learn about the periodic table, make sure the video is about the periodic table. But how can you make it fun, right? Like with the dance, I think that's a great example. I was looking around the classroom and everyone was laughing, and you guys are probably going to remember that today. So I would use the same approach, figure out what your kids like maybe your kids are big skateboarders, or maybe you've got a bunch of football players there. How do you tie that in with the periodic table, I think that's kind of what you need to think about as you make videos for your kids, is how can I be relatable to what they're doing in their daily lives. So with that being said, I wanted to spend some time on actually making videos. The biggest feedback I've gotten on presenting YouTube this year so far is that the content I'm providing is great, but teachers feel leaving the classroom like they didn't know really how to do the things I was talking about. So I would love if anyone in the class, you can raise your hand if you come up here and you just kind of help me make and edit a video real quick. And then that way we can kind of see it interactively. So any volunteer, you don't have to have any YouTube experience. All right, awesome, thank you. Give her a round of applause for that. So before you can go ahead and sit over on this one over here. I'll show that I just wanted to show you very simplistically. Obviously for me, I'm a tech nerd. That video I made it actually with my entire iPhone 6. So you know, it may not have been like the best production quality video, but most of us, if not all of us, have smartphones at this age. An app, actually just where you can go like I'm doing right now. That video will get published immediately, and then you can go into YouTube. So really, when you think videos, you know, I think a lot of people get turned off because they're like, I don't have iMovie, I don't have Final Cut, SLR camera, smartphone. And it's really kind of cool that relatable, right? Feel like they're more in the classroom from a phone. So today I'm going to ask our volunteer here to just kind of come into my playlist. I'm going to show you this slide real quickly, just so you can see. So this is the video manager platform for what she's going to do today, right? There's all these different things that you can do once your video is uploaded. Title to enhancements, the thumbnail, playlist tags and descriptions, and all of these things are very important for your video to get found. And then you want to take it to the next step, like I mentioned, and put it into playlists or sections for your curriculum. So with my volunteer here, we're one of my current videos. So again, I'll show you guys the steps. It was from the main page, and then we're going to Creator Studio, and the manager, and then we're just edit a. This is a fountain that I Barcelona, and this is kind of the back end. So if you can volunteer, I'd love for you to come over on the computer and go ahead and go into enhancements for me. And change, I'm gonna be right here, yeah. And I want you to change how this video looks when it loads. If it works. So you can see it's just a basic fountain. Go ahead and go onto the right there for me and just change the light or the saturation or the color. And see what that does to the video. Yeah. So you see that immediately the lights changed, right? So, I mean, the nice thing about YouTube is that you can do all of these different features in real time. Once your video is uploaded, you come in here later. If you can for me next, I'll tap and click on audio. Yeah. Give it a hard click. Leave. That's fine. That's all right. I'm going to give that video a pause. So they'll actually be normally an area. And this is a big issue that a lot of people struggle with on YouTube is they say, well, I got this awesome video and now I need to add music or sound to it. Am I going to get in trouble with copyright? And pretty much it's definitely something that YouTube's technology is recognizing a song immediately. They have something that's called a content video that's made on YouTube algorithm, and it does all this crazy machine learning, artificial intelligence, and it spits back and it says, hey, this song is in this video. Do you have the rights to this video? So what YouTube did instead, and you might be able to click on it, if you can click on the right for me that says get started, need music for next time. If it pops up for you.
Oh, right here?
Right here, yeah. Let's see if it'll take you. There it is. So you can see, these are all videos these are all music that you can download for free and add to any of your videos. The other thing that you guys could do out there is you could go to royalty-free websites. There's tons of them out there where you can just go buy a song for 99 cents. The way to do it, the interesting thing about that is I actually used the original song, but what I did was it was cut in half, and then I was talking over it, right? So there were other audio elements, and what they call that is free copyright use, which is just allowing you to take an original work of an art, a video or an artist, and if you change it or alter it in a way that doesn't, try to make money off of it, you're not trying to, copy pretty much the same thing that you're using, they will allow you to use that. So that's one of those things as I would say to you as a trainer, I would say the best solution always ethically is going to be to reach out to whoever the artist is or buy royalty free or use this feature in YouTube to add music so you don't get in trouble. But you're probably okay at it, sound or a video, as long as the artist doesn't care, right? So an artist or anyone that makes a YouTube video, that is right to YouTube as soon as it's uploaded. How do they use your music so you don't have to worry about it? Or like I explained, it's that free copyright use. So they're looking at it as, hey, he didn't use my original piece, of that wave spell dance. It's a 7-minute song. He cut it up and put audio on it and it's 3 minutes long. That's fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So, that would be my advice to you guys is, try the ethical copyright, buy music, reach out to an artist and care. But if you really just cut it up, you add some different audio effects to it, you're not gonna have an issue. Unless it's like something political or some like famous person, they're really not gonna care. So from here, I want you to go back to Video Manager. Click back on the film. And then I just want you to work on these for the rest. So, end screens and annotations. End screens are just, you can in this example, but an end screen really is something that you put at the end of your video in order to guide the viewer to another screen. So if I watch a video on, the first side of the periodic table, and then I want to see the second side of it, that's what you would use an end screen for. Or let's say you're building some, very complex mathematical problem where, here's the different solutions and this is phase 1, this is phase 2, this is phase 3. That's what's really good. Or if you're in history and you're teaching the different years and the eras, you take them from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, that's what's really beneficial. Cards, if you can go ahead and click on that for me. Just gotta get it on. I'm going to have you add a card for me. So go up there to the right and add. And let's do, so you see all these different add. A card is just going to be, like I mentioned with an end screen, it's going to be this little image that pops up here that will take you to something else. So let's say you wanted to have a supplemental resource, you're doing a scientific experiment, but you need to talk about, Newton's law, and you want them to watch a video. You can add a card to another video. So if you can't for me, please click on video or playlist and click create. And you can just add in the first wave spell dance, that's fine. Click that, and then click create card. Okay, and then let's go back on the video to the bottom and play it from the beginning with the card. So let's go back to the very beginning of the video. You can just click continue on that. I don't know why that's coming up.
Your mouse doesn't like me.
There you go. All right, and then give it a click. There it is. So you can see right there, 3 seconds, boom, card pops up. Student can click on information, it'll go straight to the next video. Really cool feature to guide your students as they're going through material to give them more supplemental content. Then the right would be subtitle CC. So give me a click on that. Just go do default for new uploads for now. Click on that. And do set language. What are you doing on fire? So the last feature, I think, I don't know if it's the blocking or whatever, but just subtitles. You can pretty much caption any of your videos. They'll do that for you. You can add different things in. And when I look at a great video, for me, I want the thumbnail to explain, right? So in this example, you know exactly what it is. You want to make sure that you've got the title, the description, If you've got any tags to it, you would see that on the bottom. You definitely want to make your video public if you're trying to collaborate with other audiences or you want your content to be shared in other playlists. But if you're private, let's say it's a class project, you would just want to be a private option. You can private classroom for your YouTube. So everything that happens through YouTube, all it is to get to your YouTube channel is that you log in through Gmail. So if you've already set up the private settings on your back end from your G Suite administrator to kind of make those things private or not have access outside of school, the same thing will apply for your YouTube videos. My only thing that I would suggest is just to keep that in the back of your mind is that you should always have this private as a video to be private and not seen outside of school. All right, thank you so much for your help. So yeah, I mean, that was like, you know, she was up here for what, 5-10 minutes? Did you know how to do any of those things by volunteer?
No.
So there you go. And it wasn't anything crazy. I wanted to do that today just because we leave learning a lot, but we don't know how to do after. And hopefully for you, for example, if you pursue using YouTube in the classroom now, you would know how to edit, add a screen, add audio to it. It's really pretty powerful. I mean, it's a basic feature. Like I said, it's not Final Cut Pro, it's not iMovie, but you could really take any video and kind of slice it and dice it and make it better if you really need to. So some different tweaks that we already talked about, you know, color, saturation, audio. But I think the biggest thing I would say is, you know, as you organize kind of your YouTube channel, you want to make it in logical sense, right? As you're teaching your lesson plans, as I'm sure you do, it's the same concept with YouTube. So number your episodes, put them into sections, use end cards so that when they watch the video and it's about to end, that it takes them to a next video. Have them in sections. Another good rule of thumb is 4 minutes or less. And that's just attention spans, right? I mean, people today, they have Snapchat or Instagram or they're in their Facebook feed. I mean, the average attention span is definitely got to be under like 20 seconds for a child these days. So if you have a 4-minute or more video, what are the chances that they're going to watch that, right? Don't go show them an hour-long video unless you're trying to show some type of documentary. It's a great option, but if you're trying to teach them something, keep it short and sweet. You can provide other resources like data toolkits. I heard someone today actually tell me there's a Chrome extension called Puzzle, and you could actually implement that Puzzle Chrome extension to have questions in your video to kind of break it up, where you could pause it. You know, as I kind of did with you guys today, I hooked you in and we had that question, we had the dance. You could do the same thing with your videos, and that's a really cool way to make your videos more interactive, right? I think a lot of teachers today, they're probably just playing a video and then they stop it and the class talks about it after. Why not have that video be conversational, right? Instead of you just passively sitting there watching the video, why not put something like Puzzle as an extension into that video and ask questions and kind of make it more conversational as they're watching the video. So there's a ton of stuff you can do with YouTube search and discovery. I'm not gonna go too crazy in this, but I wanted to give you guys all of the different reasons as to how you would go about making your videos discoverable. One problem that I see a lot of schools doing right now is they will do, for example, like Wade Hampton High School, something like that. And that's fine if you have a good YouTube channel or if your school has a great website and you want Wade Hampton High School to see it. But if you want to get better video, reach that 80% around the world, get different, you know, supplemental content, you need to make sure that your video is described. So you can do that with thumbnails, keywords. For anyone in the classroom that has, you know, gotten the opportunity to work with VR, they do rank VR videos higher in their search rank. And then these are some really easy ways to get your videos found. You can go to Google Trends, Twitter Trends, trendspotter.com, and then you can take variations of your videos. So if you use quotes, that would be directly like YouTube is saying, I want this exact word. Or if you did a plus, I want Upstate Technology Conference plus YouTube. My video would probably come up at that point. You can exclude words. So a great example there might be like, I don't know, if you're doing the Bill of Rights and you want to exclude, you know, certain amendments, right? You only wanted amendments 1 through 5 or something like that. You could exclude that. And then I used an example here with Newton's Law again of like if you just wanted something short, going back to that attention span of videos that are 4 minutes or less, you could go and type in Newton's Law, and then you could get this hyphen of can and short, and you could put actually how many minutes you want it to be. So if you want the video to only be 3 minutes, that might be advantageous for you as well. So as I mentioned, you can share playlists and save them, and that's something I would definitely encourage you for anyone in the classroom that hasn't made a YouTube video yet or maybe doesn't have a YouTube channel. You can just go ahead and start using these other free available resources right now and create a good channel without ever making your own original video. You can go to the TED Ed, you can go to the other educators within your school systems and create playlists around those and share those and just look at how they're making videos, and then in time, as you kind of experiment with your phone, or there's also the live feature that I kind of explained to you guys. You can record videos directly from your phone or your computer, but you don't have to be a video maker. You don't have to be a video producer. You can have a great channel just curating all the different types of content that are out there. So I recommended cards as another supplemental resource. You can do about 2 to 4 cards or add up to 5. And then again, using an end screen at the end, like a call to action. So it's like, maybe they were learning about social studies and they needed a review. Like maybe the follow-up video of that end card is a review of what you learned in lesson 1. That's a great way to kind of connect your videos and test that people are actually learning from the videos. So I put a ton of YouTube resources in here for you guys. I mean, I could probably have another hour to talk about all the different resources that exist out there, but these are some really good ones. Most of these ones here on the right are going to be more for your topic. So some of my favorites are National Geographic, NASA, the Smithsonian, Minute Physics, Crash Course Kids is another great resource out there. And then everything here on the left, these are all original articles that I've written about YouTube. So feel free to check those out if you'd like. One other thing too, I know that is a no-no for a lot of the kids when they're watching videos. They'll watch a video and then they'll get suggested videos and they'll go off on a tangent and they'll start watching all this inappropriate stuff. All you have to do is go to your Chrome, if you use Google Chrome, and go search for Adblock for YouTube. This will make sure that it prevents any type of profanity or bad content advertised on your video that you don't want. And then the other thing is that YouTube, if you go back to my resources, actually has created an approved channel for kids. Maybe some of you in the class are familiar with, they have a YouTube for kids and they have a YouTube regular, but within YouTube, if you just type in YouTube approved channels, it will come up with everything that's available that you can teach in education. So really YouTube has done a lot of you guys needing to find and search for great content. They've really already done that for you. It's just a matter of searching for it. Communities is the last thing I kind of wanted to mention, as I got about 5 minutes. I personally have just kind of touched the tip of the iceberg with trying to collaborate with other teachers, but that's a great way, right? Like if you could do something with another school, or if you do any professional development with another teacher, you could both have a YouTube channel, or you could have a YouTube channel with the different schools. I mean, what that just allows you to do is it just builds more credibility when you have guest speakers. If you have another teacher that's very knowledgeable about the topic that you're talking about, you can partner with other schools, institutions, and organizations. So maybe the PTA, or I don't know, the football team has their own YouTube channel and your classroom has a channel. Well, maybe you guys could do a video together about the periodic table with the football players in it. That would kind of connect those things for the children to be more relatable for them. Like I said, you can use playlists from other channels. There are so many channels out there, 10 million subscribers just for the YouTube education category, that if you're worried about making videos, it's really not an issue. Going global. So I definitely hit on that stat for you guys today. 80% of YouTube is watched outside the United States. You can enable community contributions where people will translate your titles and descriptions to your videos. And then it will just make the viewing experience better, right? I mean, if you have captions or subtitles, depending upon the age, if they're, early, like 3 to 5, where the brain neurologically is still linguistically developing and they don't understand things, well, maybe they might connect the words if it's captioned, if it's translated. And then you can also see when you translate things, hey, maybe this video that I just made on the wave spell dance no one watched it in the United States, but then when I translated it to, Una baila de las olas, people were searching for it. And then all of Spain is looking at this video like, wow, this is an awesome video. Those are really cool things that you could do to your video to get more engagement, to get better circuit traffic results. And ultimately YouTube, it's a business, right? They make money, they make all of their money. Google owns YouTube, and YouTube makes a majority of their money from advertising. So pretty much with YouTube, if your videos get found, how do they get found? It's based upon all the search things that I showed you, but it really just comes down to number of subscribers and watch time. So if you have a lot of watches or you have a lot of subscribers, your videos are going to be found more. YouTube Live, we're live right now. So I gave you a real world classroom example right now of I'm giving a presentation, and I'm hoping that I got to encourage some fun to this. There's also an option to go into a chat window. I can kind of try to show you that real quick if it's available. But there should be something like right here that would be underneath the video where there would be a chat feature. I might not just have it, but that's also a really good way. Like if your students were outside the classroom or they wanted to watch it at a different time. And then the last thing I want to point out before everyone heads down is YouTube videos. To monetize your videos, you will have to get accepted into the YouTube Partnership Program. And they made it a little bit more difficult, so I'm not going to say it's easy because I'm not in it, but I just kind of started pursuing it this year. And the goal is you have to hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Now that might kind of scare a lot of people in the room, but I mean, I don't know what the average size of the school here, but if you think about 3 to 5 years, if you had, your entire school, or you had a website for your school, and then you made that, you sent that out in your newsletter, you sent it to your PTA. Even a lot of parents, I think, would be interested in subscribing to a really good YouTube channel to better understand what their kids are learning, right? So those are really good opportunities where it might seem like an astronomical goal, but I think it's really doable in a year or two if you just ask. The watch hours, you can really kind of solve that too with just search things that I told you, right? Metadata, tags, using original thumbnails, creating original content. And then these other things are just kind of ideas for you. Some YouTube channels in education, they're actually selling their t-shirts of their school on the YouTube channel. There's tons of education videos linked to you, so does other people. And then what they content. So pretty that if you private for the channel being monetized, right? Because no one's going to see it. So if you're trying to monetize your videos, make sure that it's public. And all of this, if you did these things and you're really serious about YouTube, you could start to make money from all of your videos. And it will just continually compound over time. It will just increase in time. And then what you could go and you could show your school later on is say, hey, I made money from these educational videos that are helping my students learn better. And then hopefully you would probably reinvest that money back into better, phone equipment or video instead of having to use, Scotch tape on a tripod. So, be creative, guys. That's the big thing. YouTube, it's so much of a community more so than it is a learning mechanism. And to not have education involved in that community is a shame. It's a really powerful tool. And I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation today. Please feel free to take the feedback for me. That would really help me. The things that I did in today's presentation of having a volunteer, that was awesome. It's like she didn't know how to do those things, and within 5 minutes she learned how to do them. So that's what makes me better, right? I want to help you guys learn. So thank you for the presentation, guys. I hope you have a good rest of the conference.
We just sit there and got the chicken, no, hamburger. I got a hamburger. Chicken truck? Oh, the chicken truck is hamburger? Yeah.
We got more barrels. We were in the line for supper, so we ended up eating here. It's like being a Eating like flight, so I wouldn't be in the flight. I know, right?
I've got my presentation. Yeah, and I'm looking to like help people in like get into that program because like this is and I haven't done that yet. So, you know, reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.